wrong with the art world? Like, why do you see this
So I
happening?
have no expertise in the art world. I don't like art anymore. I'm not in the art world.
Well, you went to
I, I,
art
I
school.
went to art school, and I'm basically the failed artist, which is fine. And I can easily be accused of resentment and being, resentful in the fact that I don't like it. But at the foundation, the artist residency foundation I worked at, and the art that I've seen, it's all this like super politicized, sort of narrow individual epistemic experience where everybody's telling their little story, and it just gets oppressive after a while. None of it's impressive. You don't walk away from any of it like the way you might have in the old days when you were like, wow, that painting, that sculpture, or whatever it is, that that dance thing that you did was impressive to some degree. There was some like craft involved, and you might walk away impressed. Now it's just all insipid garbage that's just reproducing this overarching political ideology of inclusion or whatever, and it's just the most oppressive. That, like, I don't understand the people that go to the foundation where I worked at, and they see like the garbage in the exhibits. Like when you see the tourists or the maybe local families, usually it's often pretty affluent people. I just don't. I can't imagine that they're coming away um, edified from the experience. There was the last 5 years at this foundation, everything's just been like, queer LGBTQ stuff. And one exhibit it was a bunch of stacks of pamphlets with post-structuralist, full of post-structuralist rhetoric. And then they had a video up that was, trans people and queer people and their G strings pulsing around and being sexy, I guess. And one of the videos had it was ballerina feet going around to space, and I think he put headphones on, and there was probably music to it that I didn't put on, but you could see um, the ballerina feet going around and around in this sort of creative studio space. And then at the end, for the money shot, the feet stop and it urinates on the floor. And this stream of urine comes down and splashes on the floor. And I remember I actually took a picture of it, seeing like some 6-year-olds putting the headphones on, going, "Oh, ew, more pee." And I'm like asking myself, how is this about inclusion? What is this about? And so I want nothing to do with the art world. I hate art.
What about, aren't there some like 20th century abstract expressionists or some like modern art that you like?
Oh no, I don't know. Maybe there could be, but it's not. It's not being exhibited at this. The
What
current exhibit at this foundation is some gay artist that has a narrative of being he got persecuted for something, and his work wasn't shown or something. And it's all just like renderings, close up renderings of parts of bodies and some garish like genital shots and stuff. Um, and whatever, that's fine. I'm not particularly interested in it. I don't care. And then the other one, actually, there have been a bunch like this where it's like there was one. It was a famous guy who was an illustrator, an early transsexual. I think called him transsexual back then. Now transgender. Um, and you see he's actually an expert illustrator. He actually did, there was some like stuff that you looked at like, wow, that's really well rendered, and there was some humor to it. But the money shot to that show, as you walk through the exhibit space, they had some walled off thing, and there was some funny jokes about getting old and getting sick, and a peep show theme. And then when you got to the end, there was a photograph of the artist, and he were under a car doing car work, and you could see, and they were naked, and you could see their estrogen tumors that they had gotten for the breasts, which had a tattoo of a bikini top over the estrogen bumps. And then you could see the vaginoplasty, which the artist had gotten in Southeast Asia, with a bikini bottom that was pulled aside to expose the vaginoplasty. So a tattoo of a bikini bottom pulled aside to expose the vaginoplasty. And again, you're supposed to be thrilled, and edified by this lovely conclusion. And it's just, again, like, get me out of here. Where's the exit sign? The exit sign. That's the piece that I like.